So today I just kind of wanted to sit down and play some Doom because this week for the commentary we actually do have a viewer suggestion. So I just wanted to, chill out with some Doom Eternal because I'm finally playing it. So, anyway, we're going to hop right into this thing. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and read this. What's going on, Hunter? I just want to say thank you for the latest videos that you guys have been making. They've been really helpful, and I think that they are really great. Well, thank you for that. Anyways, I've been feeling a little overwhelmed. I know that you talked about a couple weeks ago about starting college, but I'm already feeling overwhelmed with school, my ongoing relationship, and also balancing work. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about this. All right, absolutely I can. So for a little bit of context, I am currently in my third year of university. I also have been balancing a relationship since my freshman year and also working multiple campus jobs. So I want to sit down and talk about that a little bit and, give you some advice on that. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you is that it's normal to feel overwhelmed, especially, once again, as a first-time college student. Everything is going to feel weird, all right, man? Like, to be truthful, it's going to take you a little bit of time, and especially the first couple weeks, to figure out how you want to live your life and how to balance your life, right? Because I talked about this a little bit, that it's really your first time having independence. And with it being your first time of having independence, it's also really your first time of making your own schedule. It's your first time of learning how to balance that schedule, right? Because for a long time, you were kind of told of where to go and when to be there. And you don't really have that. So, I just want to make that clear, is that it can be challenging at first and that it can seem scary, but I promise you it's going to be great. And the first tip I'm going to give you right off the bat is make lists. So I have an app on my phone that every single night I write down my to-do list. And basically, sometimes, I don't do this always because sometimes time constraints don't really work, but I write the tasks that I need to get down, what day I need to get it done by, and also what time it needs to be done by. This can be done by homework, this can be done by cleaning, whatever you want to make it. Like, that's what's great about it, is that you're not just, putting in homework. You're not just putting in school stuff. You're putting in everything, right? And you're going to learn that is, some people would say schedules are fucking lame. Honestly, man, they're going to be so helpful for you to just learn to accept, learn to adapt to. So that's the first suggestion that I'm going to give you. I do it every single day, sometimes weekly, depending on if I kind of know what's going on. Sometimes I have to live life by the day. And then this is sort of how I can base around my schedule and figure out what I can fit in, what I can't fit in, basically figure out my basic time schedules. That's really important. It's also really important to understand due dates, right? Especially when it comes to, school. And it's your first time, so I'm sure that you're realizing this, is that due dates are super important. There's going to be a lot of professors that aren't going to be lenient on, giving you time off, giving you time to turn things in late. I've had many professors that are like, well, you didn't fucking turn it in by midnight? I'm not taking that shit. And it's going to seem unfair, and it's going to seem ridiculous. But guess what? There's nothing you can fucking do about it. You're going to have to learn to adapt to that kind of shit, man. And it's sometimes not fun, and sometimes you have to give up things to be able to get things done. I did that a lot, especially my freshman year, because I keep a relatively high GPA. So, for me, it's always been kind of a challenge to balance that and figuring out what do I have time for, what don't I have time for. And it can be a real challenge. And I think for some people, that's really difficult to figure out. And it's going to take some experimenting. It's going to take some time to sort of, learn yourself, learn your schedule. How long do certain things take you? Realize you need more than like 6 hours to do, a paper or whatever. I think that's really important. And, I think that's really important, especially if you started budgeting. A lot of budgeting stuff, once again, you're going to learn and you're going to master from practicing it, from doing these things. At first, it's going to seem daunting, but that's the point. You need to learn how to do this sort of stuff. When it comes to a relationship, I've talked about this a little bit, but let me make this clear. There's a difference between not making time for somebody and them not understanding that you're giving them all the time that you got. And some people find this a bit of a hard conversation to have. I want you to sit down and think. Are they being let's say that you guys are having issues and they're feeling that you're not giving them enough time. I want you to stop and be honest. Are you giving them enough time? And if the answer is yes, I want you to have that conversation with them. Be like, look, I'm in college, and we both have our own things going on. I understand that you want more time, but I'm giving you what I can give you, right? And if you feel that is fair, and that you are truly giving them the time that you can give them, have that conversation, like genuinely. Like, I have seen multiple people where they just accept this and they throw their passions, whatever it may be, to the wayside. You cannot fucking do that, brother, especially in college. If you decide, you know what, I'm going to put off this homework assignment, I'm going to skip a couple classes, that shit will catch up to you, man. That shit's going to catch up to you in the last couple weeks of school, man. It's a challenge. And you need to be able to balance that, right? And if you're not, maybe think to yourself, am I in the right place in this relationship to, be in a relationship? Do I have enough time for this person? I think that's really important to think about too. Another thing to tell them, if you feel that you are giving them enough time and that they're being unfair and unreasonable, is think about it like this, right? Almost every single relationship is going to be about compromise. Every single event in your life is going to be about compromise. And specifically, at some points in relationships, you're going to have to realize for each other that you're going to need to sort of, not necessarily take a break, but sort of understand that you're not always going to have time for one another. And once again, we're only a couple weeks in, so if they're not understanding that, man, I think it's time to have a tough conversation. And, realize, hey, this is how things are going to be, and if you can't accept that or you don't agree, then maybe we're not for each other. And, that is a tough conversation to have, but, I think it's an important one to have. And we're going to talk about the job a little bit. Jobs are kind of tricky. I would recommend also just trying to schedule that in once again with the first topic. What I did is that I never work over 20 hours. And here's the thing. I think a lot of people don't realize how much free time they actually have until they actually calculate it, okay? Here's the deal. For me, I work about 20 hours a week. I attend classes full time, so that's I'm doing... Sorry, I had to think for a second. I'm doing 15 credits in total. So, okay, so 15 plus, 20, right? Okay, so look, if you're doing that and, you're also trying to balance a relationship and you feel that you don't have enough time, okay, fair enough. We need to calculate that time. What is that time that you're not doing those things being spent doing, right? Because I think that's really important. Is because I've talked... In particular, one of the things I've done is I've worked with freshmen and helping them adapt to freshman year. I've talked with freshmen and I've had conversations about, what does your schedule look like? And, they talk about, hey, I'm taking, 5 classes, 15 credit hours, at least in my university. And, I don't work and I feel like I'm overwhelmed with homework and stuff, which, okay, fair. Let's look at what are you doing with that time? I think what's also really important is don't be afraid. Turn on that feature on your iPhone called screen time. Sometimes it's shocking to find out how much time you're actually spending on apps, right? How much time are you spending on TikTok? How much time are you spending on Instagram? How much time are you doing things other than work, right? Compare that. Realize, am I struggling because I'm doing too much, or am I struggling because, oh shit, I'm spending too much time doing mindless shit? Right? Because I cannot tell you how many times I had it happen where I would sit down with a freshman, we would look over their schedule, we would look over what issues they're having, and I would quickly realize, oh shit, you're just spending too much time doing other things, right? And like I mentioned, freshman year is going to be that time where you're going to realize that. This is how I feel. A freshman year especially, and when you're young, is the perfect time to make mistakes, right? If you can make mistakes now, you're gonna be fucking golden. But unfortunately, in 4 years when you're done and you get a real big boy job and you're ready to start in the corporate world, whatever degree you're getting, and turns out, oh shit, I show up late and my boss fired me. Well, you never trained yourself for this shit, man. You never trained yourself to adapt and to learn to be prepared for what the real world is like, man. College has really turned into this thing where it's become an adaptation for people to learn skills in a more easy setting for real life, right? That's sort of what it's slowly turning into, and I think that's important to remember. And I think it's important, especially if you are trying to grow and do something about your situation and your life. And guess what? You're going to need to learn how to compromise. You're going to need to learn how to schedule. You're going to have to learn how to do these things, because unfortunately, once you're done with school, it's time to pay rent, buddy. I'm not trying to be a dick or anything, but that's how the world works. It's fucking time. And some people are ready and some people aren't, but I think those skills need to be started in freshman year by managing your finances, by managing your time, by managing your life in general. And that's what I'm going to tell you, is that's sort of the first step, and I think it's really important. And some people, unfortunately, don't use freshman year to learn that. And I don't want that to be you. So, I just wanted to make that clear. But anyways, man, I want to say thank you for your comment, and I hope that you're doing better, and I hope that you learn, man. It's going to be a fun time, I promise. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you once again for watching today's video. If you are interested, there's a link to join our Discord. Once again, you can leave a comment if you have a suggestion. You can also follow me on social media, leave me a comment there, whatever you want to do. Also, there's a link to buy W Energy. You can get 10% off with our discount link, or you can also use our code Sigma934 for 10% off. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you so much for watching today's video. If it was helpful, hit a like, hit the subscribe button. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and peace.